this in my wood collection from years ago. It was in storage. I think it's time to make something of it and decorate it. Want to come with me? This is a birch tea tray. Birch is really good for pyrography from my experience. I often use that or sycamore. So I thought I might as well wood burn a tea party on here, just to keep it in theme. And maybe the tea party is being attended by little woodland creatures. So that's what I started to draw in my sketchbook. First idea was a raccoon. Oh my gosh, you are so nosy, Sib. Never mind him. A raccoon. I'm not going to put clothes on the creatures, but I'm going to sort of give them expressions a bit illustratively. From there, I just started sketching tea party things. All of the size ratios are off. That's fine. It's just a page of ideas. I really like this mouse rat. I think he'd probably be a rat that big, wouldn't he? On a teapot, and the frog in the cup, and the squirrel in the honey pot. I really like the squirrel in the honey pot. And then I've just got sort of elements of chaos falling around, like the cake, and there's some bumblebees. I like the tea bag. So from these ideas, I'm going to take them and put them into Procreate. I'm just going to take photos of my little sketches and make a Procreate document where each one is on its layer, and I'll just erase the background so that I can move them around, and we'll try and make some sort of composition that looks good before even attempting to sketch it onto the wood. Once you've got the images into Procreate and just erased roughly around them, it's really easy to just manipulate them, pull them about, and see how they might flow together. I started with the raccoon because he was the biggest and thought maybe a table in front of him would give the other elements that I liked from my sketchbook something to sit on or fall off or be based around. To do this, I have an Apple Pencil and just an iPad. I've had it since the iPad Pro came out, so it's really old now, but it does the job. And it's really handy to be able to just mess about with things and do little edits like this before committing to the wood. Because, you know, once you put the pencil on, the pencil will scar the wood. And then you're in a space where you have to sand it off to get it completely removed, which can be really time consuming and very frustrating and damage the wood. I put everything together as if they were all in a shambles, as if they were flying into the air, and this is the sort of initial idea that I had with the raccoon in the background. But when it came to actually putting it on the wood in pencil, I started with the table and just, ruled that in, and the frog, the squirrel, and the rat on his little teapot. And once I'd done that, I thought, I've actually got no room for the raccoon. The raccoon would complicate things and probably busy it up in the background and ruin the perspective. So I put the cake where the raccoon was initially and the tea bag still flying in the background. To woodburn, I have a fire writer. I've been using this machine for years and I had one identical to it many years before that. So I haven't actually tried any of the newly available kits for pyrography or woodburning. But this, you can use your breath to gradient some of the burn that you're getting, and the maximum heat, the number 10 setting, gives you control like this, where you can just put outlines in. And so long as you're stroking the wood with a paintbrushy style stroke, they can be pretty clean. You just have to be wary of the kind of wood that you're burning on. I wanted to keep the frog's face kind of, blank, because that was funny to me. He's in the forefront in the mug, even though he was just a tiny scribble in the sketchbook, which is why I really love my sketchbook. I do videos every week on my sketchbook because I'm doing the 75 challenge at the minute and drawing every day. So if you want to check those out, there's a playlist on my page for those. I don't draw loads of different things. It's often animals or little bits that I've been seeing on TV, but drawing every day is definitely warming me up to do more ambitious things. The squirrel is front and center on the board because he's actually my favorite, I think, with his little bum in the air. And actually, all of the animals that I've ended up putting on the board are sort of UK natives, whereas a raccoon wouldn't be, and I didn't think about that at the time, but I guess it makes more sense with me being from the Midlands of the middle of England. One of the things that comes with burning onto plywood like this, it's sort of a birch ply on thick birch arms to make the board, Birch isn't very forgiving for shading. You get one tone, and to get sort of paler shades is quite tricky, no matter how gentle you are with the wood. In some ways that's really good because you get a stark contrast with the wood in the background. But in others, when you're doing fur like this in quick little motions, you can sometimes struggle to get shading on creatures like the squirrel or any sort of mammal that you're drawing. So when I'm wood burning something like this, I don't tend to stick to wood burning alone. I like to mix in some washes or some varnishes to add to the tone of the wood. Sometimes you can paint in watercolour straight onto wood and it'll tint it. So it's not bold and stark, but it'll just give it a nice little hue. If you want to add an opaque background or even a metallic, acrylic is your best bet, and you can seal that in and it'll be just as vibrant as the day you painted it. Gouache works somewhere in between, and you can stain the wood if you keep it watery, or you can just cover it if you keep it thick. But as I was wood burning this, I decided to go with a monochrome palette. This is what the animals looked like before I decided to put any paint on the wood. And you can see it's strong outlines, but very, very bold. So you're sort of using texture rather than tone to shade. Once I'd got this outline done with some texture, I started to wash using a monochrome palette, sort of sticking to the colours of the wood. So brown, dark brown, honey brown, and the paint that I used was gouache. I contemplated just blocking out the whole entire back of the drawing of the wood burning, but if you do that, I sort of think you lose the wood, and the whole purpose of creating artwork on wood is to celebrate the wood, right? I mean, I have done that before with pieces and then regretted it and thought, oh, now it's basically just a painting. That was dumb. Why did I do that? So all I've done with this one is just pick out certain parts that would be enhanced by being coloured, like the jam in the cake, the actual board of the table to make that different to the background, and little tiny bits of shading on the animals and the sort of little items that they're crawling on. What do you think? I think I really like the frog, and I really like the squirrel. The little rat, his arm is a bit wonky and I regret that. But, everything's going to have mistakes when it's handmade. Sib, this is not for you. I'm filming. Sib, you're ruining it. You're ruining it. Why? I think my next step is to get some wood stain, dark wood stain, to finish the board, and then something like wax or wood safe varnish to make it usable as a tea tray. If you liked this video, please give it a little like and maybe follow me. I post things every week, at least on a Tuesday, maybe more, and shorts almost every day about creative stuff, just making stuff and drawing stuff and painting stuff. It's what I'm focused on for this channel, and at the minute it's making me pretty happy to be drawing and creating more. It's sort of pushing me to do that. Know in the comments if you'd add anything more to it, or if you'd just varnish it like that. Thanks for watching.